Long ago, before the roads of dust had been carved across the savannas, and before the drums of men had grown louder than the cries of the wild, there lived a woman named Ayanda. She was born in a small village, cradled by the arms of a river that coiled like a silver snake through the grasslands. Her people said that the river had once been the hair of a goddess, cut loose to heal the earth, and that anyone who lived near its waters was blessed with both life and burden. Ayanda's childhood was quiet, filled with the laughter of other children, but her heart always wandered elsewhere. While the young boys played with sticks and the girls braided one another's hair, Ayanda often walked alone beyond the fields, where the tall grass whispered secrets and the shadows of birds darkened the earth. She had no mother to guide her, for death had claimed the woman soon after her birth, and no father to protect her, for the man had been swallowed by the river during a season of great flooding. The village raised her, yes, but Ayanda was a child of absence, and absence grew in her like a hollow drum. One evening, when the sun was bleeding red into the horizon and the first stars stretched themselves awake, Ayanda followed the sound of rustling leaves and found herself face to face with an elephant. It was not like the ones she had glimpsed from afar while the hunters sharpened their spears. This one was old, its skin folded like the bark of ancient trees, its tusks curved like moons, and its eyes were heavy with the weight of centuries. Ayanda froze, breath sharp in her throat, but the elephant did not threaten her. Instead, it raised its trunk gently, touching the air as though greeting a lost friend. In that stillness, Ayanda felt a voice bloom inside her chest, not heard with ears, but with spirit. "Child, memory is the rope that ties us to the earth. Do not cut it even when it burns your hands." She trembled, tears pricking her eyes. For years she had run from memories of her father's laughter echoing across the huts, of her mother's lullabies that existed only in the mouths of others. Yet here was an elephant teaching her that memory, though heavy, was not a curse but a gift. She whispered thank you, though she was unsure if the words belonged to her mouth or her heart. From that night onward, Ayanda returned again and again to the forest, and the forest responded. A lion, golden as fire, once stepped into her path, its mane catching the moonlight as though it wore the sky itself. She should have fled, for no creature struck more terror in her people, but instead she stood tall, and the lion's gaze pierced her. "You have hidden your voice behind silence," it rumbled within her. But strength is not found in silence, it is found in the roar. Ayanda learned to breathe differently after that. When children mocked her solitude, she no longer bowed her head. When elders scolded her for wandering too far, she met their eyes and accepted their words without shrinking. She was not loud, no, but her presence grew sharper, more defined, as if the lion had carved her from stone. Not every creature came with kindness. By the river's edge, as Ayanda bent to fill her calabash bowl, the water broke with sudden violence and a crocodile rose, its teeth gleaming like knives carved from bone. Its voice slithered through her. "Come closer, and I shall give you freedom from sorrow. Step into my waters, and you will never feel alone again." For a moment, Ayanda's body tilted forward. The promise cut deep, for loneliness gnawed at her every night when the huts filled with family songs and she sat in silence. Yet just as her feet edged toward the water, she saw the glint of hunger in the crocodile's eyes, the full sweetness of its smile. She pulled herself back and whispered, "Not all gifts are blessings." The crocodile hissed, sinking back beneath the current, but Ayanda felt stronger for having denied it. Seasons changed. Rains carved rivers where none had been, and droughts cracked the land until even the baobab trees bowed low. Through it all, Ayanda grew, her bond with the wild deepening. Birds began to follow her steps, hornbills with beaks bright as fire, doves with wings soft as prayers. They circled above her when she sang, and she learned to weave her sorrow into melody. Soon, her songs reached beyond the forest, floating back to her village, where children paused their games and elders leaned closer to listen. For the first time, Ayanda felt the thread of belonging stretch toward her. Yet belonging always carried a shadow. One year, the rains betrayed the land. The river shrank until its belly showed stones sharp as broken spears. Crops withered, animals grew thin, and mothers pressed crying babies to their empty breasts. Fear wrapped the village, and whispers turned toward Ayanda. "She walks with the beasts," some muttered. "Perhaps she has angered the spirits." Others said, "No, perhaps she is the only one who can save you." That night, the elders gathered around the dying fire and called Ayanda. They told her the river spirit must be appeased, that without sacrifice, famine would claim them all. Ayanda listened, her heart steady. That night, when she slept, dreams came heavy. The elephant stood beside her, its eyes pools of memory. The lion roared, shaking her bones. The crocodile lurked in shadow, hissing temptations. The birds sang above, their wings carrying echoes of both hope and sorrow. When dawn came, Ayanda walked alone to the river. The villagers followed at a distance, too afraid to step close. She stood at the cracked bank, lifted her face to the sky, and let her voice pour out. It was not a song of sorrow this time, nor of fear. It was a song of offering, of strength, of love, woven with every lesson the animals had given her. The sky darkened, winds rose, rain began to fall, slow at first, then heavy, pounding the earth until the river swelled and the land drank deeply. Shouts of joy rose from the villagers, but when they turned to Ayanda, her voice was gone. She stood silent, lips moving with no sound, her gift taken by the spirits as the price for their mercy. Though she could no longer speak, the animals did not leave her. The elephant walked at her side in dreams. The lion's roar echoed in her heart whenever she felt fear. The crocodile's deceit reminded her always to be wary of false promises. And the birds carried her spirit in their wings, lifting her silent songs into the heavens. From then on, Ayanda became a figure of both reverence and sorrow. Villagers brought their children to her, teaching them to bow in respect. Hunters prayed in her presence before entering the forest. Mothers whispered her story at night, so their little ones would know the power of courage, memory, and sacrifice. And when Ayanda finally left the world of flesh, the people said she had not died, but had become part of the forest itself. Her soul split among the beasts that had guided her. Her voice, though silenced, was still there, hidden in the rumble of elephants, the roar of lions, the hiss of crocodiles, and the songs of birds. Even today, travelers who rest by the river Omo claim that if you listen closely at dusk, when the light is soft and the air smells of wet earth, you can hear a woman's voice threading through the sounds of the wild. A voice that speaks not in words but in spirit. The voice of Ayanda, the woman who spoke to animals, the woman who gave her voice to save her people, the woman whose silence still echoes louder than any roar.